All right, let's just jump right in. I was at this huge tech convention recently, and the single weirdest thing I saw was a bulletproof doggy door. Yeah, with AI built right in. I know, it sounds like a joke, right? But stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to see how this crazy gadget actually gives us a sneak peek into the future of our own homes. I'm being totally serious. This thing had cameras inside and out, facial recognition just for the dog, and a frame tough enough to stop a handgun round. The AI's only job was to decide who or what gets to come inside. It was just wild. And, of course, that's the question on everyone's mind, right? Who on earth needs this? People were laughing. It sounds like the setup for a punchline. But here's the thing. That exact question is actually the key to understanding a huge, massive trend in technology. Okay, so here's the big shift in thinking. Don't look at the doggy door as just a product. You gotta see it as a signal. These weird over-the-top gadgets, they're kind of like breadcrumbs, and they lead us straight to where mainstream tech is going to land in just a couple of years. And you know what's wild? There's a pattern here. Just look at this timeline. Back in the 80s, a digital photo frame seemed ridiculous. The 90s, an internet-connected fridge was a total joke. The smart thermostat in the 2000s felt like complete overkill. And yet, here we are. Versions of all those things are totally normal in millions of homes now. That AI doggy door, it's just the next thing in line. So why does this happen again and again? Well, the answer is this concept that's honestly, it's crucial if you want to understand how new tech really takes off. It all comes down to something called the extreme user. So what is an extreme user? Well, it's someone with a very specific and usually pretty high-stakes problem that most of us just don't have. They end up being the very first customers, the proving ground, really, for a new piece of technology that seems completely nuts to everybody else. Okay, so let's bring it back to our bulletproof doggy door. Who is the extreme user here? We're talking about a super tiny market. Think about someone living out in the country who's worried about coyotes, or maybe someone who's gotten threats and needs that next level security. Or hey, maybe it's just someone who wants the absolute most AI protection they can get for their home. For them, this isn't a joke. It's a real solution. And this whole thing lays out the four-step journey perfectly, from this niche little product to something totally normal. First, you get an extreme problem for a small group of people. Then, a prototype gets built just for them, for that extreme user. After that, the core tech inside gets cheaper. It starts to spread. And before you know it, that feature that once seemed so bizarre is just standard. It's everywhere. All right, now let's bring this all back to you. Let's talk about how this pattern points directly to the future of your own house. And this isn't just some theory. We can actually see exactly how the guts of that doggy door are going to become part of your everyday life. Think about it like this. Bulletproof glass. That was once a product for extreme users, right? But the core technology, it was adapted, and now it's in the laminated safety glass in every single car windshield. The exact same thing is happening right now. The AI doggy door is the prototype. Universal AI-powered home access is the mainstream reality that's just around the corner. So let's peek under the hood. What's actually inside this crazy doggy door? You've got cameras, inside and out. You've got AI vision and recognition. You have a hardened frame and secure authentication. These aren't just features. These are the actual building blocks for the smart homes of the very near future. And this leads us to the big prediction, the real takeaway here. These exact features, they're going to be in your regular front door, your back door, your garage door, probably in about 3 years. Seriously, your front door will know it's you. Your garage will only open for your car. That is the future this doggy door is telling us about. So, okay, why should you care about any of this, like right now? Because if you understand this pattern, you can start planning for the future instead of just having to react to it when it suddenly shows up on your doorstep. Check this out. A generation ago, it took something like 20 years for a new gadget to become a standard home appliance. But as this chart shows, that timeline has shrunk, like a lot. Today, it's closer to 5 years. And what that means is, the thing that seems totally absurd today is going to be on the shelf at the electronics store way faster than you think. This gives us a totally new way to read the news, When we see some headline about a bizarre new gadget, our first instinct is to ask, who would ever buy that? And just dismiss it. But the better question, the one that leads to real insight is, what extreme problem does this solve? That's where the interesting stuff is hiding. And here's some real practical advice. If you're planning any kind of home renovation in the next year or two, you gotta keep this trend in mind. Maybe you budget a little extra for the wiring for a smart door now, so you're not stuck with a dumb lock that you're just gonna have to rip out and replace in a few years anyway. Seriously, a little bit of planning now will save you a ton of headaches and money later. The bigger picture here is that the next wave of AI, it isn't just gonna be another app on your phone. It's gonna be physically built into the structure of your house. We're talking about intelligence baked right into your doors, your windows, your driveway, even your mailbox. Yeah, it'll start off as a luxury feature for sure, but then, just like everything else, it'll become completely standard.
So if we're going to wrap all this up, it comes down to this. That absurd prototype you see online, the one that everyone's laughing at, it's really just the first page of a story that's about to become very, very normal. That bulletproof doggy door seems kind of silly today, but the secure, intelligent home it's pointing to, that's right around the corner.
And that leaves me with one last thought for you. I want you to try this little exercise. Just walk around your own house. Find 3 entry points. Could be the front door, a back window, the garage door, whatever. Which 3 would you upgrade with this kind of AI security first? Thinking about it now means you'll actually be ready when this future gets here instead of being caught by surprise. So, what would your top 3 be?